to put up a TikTok as a reel on Instagram. I didn't mean to. And I have all these random people just fucking. If I had feelings about people, strangers on the internet, and how they slammed me, I would probably be sad by all the things they've said.
What was your TikTok?
Oh, it was just because I saw a TikTok where like a 20-something girl was like, get a lanyard, swing your keys at someone's head. It's better than trying to put your key between your fingers and stab at them. And I was like, that's really smart because like I don't want to get that close to a person. So I put up a TikTok and I was like, don't be afraid of youngins. They know what they're talking about. Sometimes they have better thinking skills than we old people do. Ooh. Oh, my ass still hurts from the fucking gnarly reaming I'm getting from goddamn boomers. I hope this is satire. That's never gonna work. Key between the fingers is the best for life. I'm just
No, absolutely it's not.
No.
And I can give you 100 reasons why. Chief among them is, have you ever actually put your keys in between your fingers and hit anything with it? Because you're going to do a lot more damage to yourself.
Yeah.
Also, you have to get close enough.
Yeah.
That's the issue with stun guns, things like that, is you have to be fast and skilled and get close enough.
Yeah.
You have to imagine that somebody who is going to be assailing you likely does have some type of skill or confidence that they can overpower a person, and that's why they would select said person.
Exactly. They see a small person at night in the dark, alone maybe. You know what I went and did? I bought 5 lanyards because that girl, not only did she have a great idea about like swinging keys, but I have completely solved the problem of my keys have disappeared into my purse.
No, okay, you can that. And okay, the keys disappearing into the purse, that is fine, but the actually swinging your keys at somebody with a lanyard is actually not really that good of an idea, because then they have your keys also.
Well,
it's not difficult to just go like that. It wraps around their arm. They take it. By taking it, they can get you closer, and then they have you. So please do not do that.
Well, I know that her point was more use it as like a stun and run. It is not like a battle to the death. It was just like it's a quicker getaway. If they don't see you have it.
Yeah, but where the fuck are you going to get away to now you don't have car keys?
No, like you keep them in your hand, you swing and thump like a piece of soap in a sock and then run away.
You're definitely better with soap in a sock.
Yeah. I should just keep that in my purse. I already have the special soap for my hands. Yeah, I didn't realize what a fucking can of worms I was opening up. I was like, that's a good idea because
from a self-defense standpoint, it's actually not that good of an idea though, honestly.
I thought it was a good idea because I thought it was inventive and a fun way to bash somebody like I had a mace. And I bought a lanyard that looks like clouds. And I'm like, oh, there's my keys. Also, I'm habitually out of hands when I'm trying to come in the house. So if I put my keys around my neck, then I can like easier get in. But then I read a BuzzFeed article this morning that reminded me that locks where you just plug in a number exist. And I was like, well, that solves all my hand problems and my key problems. I just get that.
Yeah, but then sometimes you don't have enough fingers to plug it in.
That's true.
We have one at my work. It flailed.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking of Jack Black trying to push the button with his hard on in Pick of Destiny. I was like, man, I can't even do that.
Oh man.
Because I was gonna say, well, I've got my nose, but no, I don't. My nose is smooshy and malleable.
That's okay.
Yeah. So welcome to part 2 of the lead crime hypothesis. I feel like today I'm going to say more things along the lines of, well, I thought it was a good idea.
I've eaten an entire bag of Haichu, save for 2 pieces.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I did have like 5 pieces out of it.
Okay, save for 7, now 6 pieces.
I shouldn't have brought the Haichus down. I got these infused Haichus, which are like gushers in a Haichu. They weren't my favorite, and I was like, hey, do you want these? And she was like, I will take them all and love them, which I say about a lot of things.
It's awesome.
But I'm getting to watch her love them with her mouth it's really satisfying.
Last piece.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I ate the whole package in, 5 minutes?
5 minutes. But you brought me a bunch of Chipotle, so I feel like we both have full tummies now. High chews will be my undoing. I love them so much. Yeah. So welcome back, guys. This is our final part in the lead crime hypothesis.
It's our ASMR chewy noises.
I'm gonna have to edit those out, and I'm gonna be like, shiver, shiver.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah. We're both running a little on empty.
Yeah, no, my brain is garbage right now. Don't know why. No, I know why. Lack of sleep.
Yeah, me too.
That Raymond Reddington, he's such a rascal. His antics just keep me guessing.
See, and I was like, I got home late. The kids were asleep, so I don't even have that I don't even have that excuse. I just stayed awake. What did I even watch? I don't even know what I watched. I just laid there thinking. I don't know what I was thinking about. Maybe I fell asleep and didn't realize it, and I'm just tired because I'm late. Like,
I did not realize that I fell asleep until it was so weird. Like, my dog was having a dog dream,
oh
and his like dog dream noises seeped into my dream.
oh my god, I love that.
And it was like I don't know, like a whiny alarm or something. Cause you know, like the running dreams where they whimper. Yeah. And it like seeped into my dream. And I was like, what the fuck is that sound in my dream? And they're like, oh, it's your dog alarm. And I was like, yeah, dog alarm. That fucking makes sense.
Checks. Oh
And
my
I like
gosh.
woke up and I just heard Buddy be like,
Oh.
he was yelling at something, man. He was chasing something or other.
He was probably killing a buffalo or something in his dream.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like he, in his dream, he's just like a tiny dire wolf. Or a large dire wolf.
Oh my god, he totally is.
Yeah, he's got the cowl and everything.
He's so cute.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I just woke up weird too many times.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be a lofty episode. I have some statistics, but not a ton. We're gonna go broad strokes on this because we're trying, despite all indications, we're a little bit trying to steer away from as much downer true crime.
Yeah, doom and gloom,
Yeah.
not our bag.
Oh, but Dude from Serial got released.
I know, Adnan's free.
I know. How
never-
fucking dope is that, huh?
I never thought the day would come. I was so happy.
Right. It was.
Reading through it. It sounds like he's been released. They have 30 days to decide if they're going to recharge him.
Yeah, like what, 25 days now?
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
they ought not to.
Yeah.
Like
They better
based on
not.
fucking what? Based on
Exactly.
sketchy ass hearsay.
Well, and that's what they were finally able to prove was like
There was sketchy ass hearsay?
yeah, all like one that the
Bro, I listened to
I
Serial.
know, right? Like
One podcast and I was like, oh, that's sus as fuck.
yeah. No, and they were talking about that they were able to get him out because he had no chances left. He had no chances left. But the detective who basically was in charge of all the evidence was convicted of like all kinds of like bad coppery in another case from the same year, and then that combined with unreliable statements from shit witnesses.
Oh, and his terrible, terrible lawyer who was the absolute worst.
She was the worst.
Just okay.
Oh,
if
and
you
then-
guys
yeah.
ever go to select a lawyer, make them somebody who people can like.
Yes. I know it sounds fucking ass backwards. You'd want someone who's competent. Turns out, no. You want someone people want to look at.
She also wasn't competent.
Yes, she was not. She died, like, real quick after that. But yeah, they were able to prove that the GPS tracking coordinates were... There was just so much fuckery.
Everything, yeah, all the evidence was sketchy at best.
And that there were 3 other people that were far better suspects than Adnan.
Yeah, Jay?
Yeah. Yeah. Right? Who changed his story no less than 3 times.
And like in my heart, I want Jay to be innocent because like I don't know, punks stick together, man. Like by all indications, he was like
Careful, that makes noise.
oh, but I was touching a weird thing on the microphone. You know, by all indications, he was like a punk rocker. And I was like, I don't want the punks to be guilty.
He probably did it.
He probably did it.
And then set his friend up. Which
Well,
is like,
I would say loose acquaintance. I don't really think they were friends. They like knew each other kind of.
yeah. Set another dude up.
Yeah, for
Just take the
sure.
fall. Like, that's so much more malicious than just like I killed someone and then ran home and took a shower and burned the evidence. Like, you actively are working to like fuck someone else over. It's
Like sketchily though.
so bad. Like making a murderer, serial, all the big ones that just like they just make my blood pressure go up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I fucking can't. I can't. So I was so happy to see him. God damn, my glasses are dirty.
Did you ever listen to Live and Die in LA?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Oh my, that was the absolute fucking best true crime podcast I have ever listened to in my entire life.
Wait a minute. I don't know if I did.
Oh my Lord, it was great.
Which
it
one was that
okay,
about?
so without giving anything away, it followed the case of a missing person from beginning to end as it unraveled. I don't know, it probably took place maybe 10 years ago because it was about, well, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago because it was about 4 years ago that I listened to it. And it's available wherever fine podcasts are available at. But it's called To Live and Die in LA. And initially, this gal is missing. And so they're kind of trying to figure out, okay, like, is it this guy? Is it this guy? Did she just leave on her own? And I'm not going to give anything away, but there are so fucking many twists and turns, and they're not manufactured ones either. It's not, you can,
I love that. When it's like happening in
it's
real
organic
time.
as fuck. Yeah.
Yes.
You can tell that everything that's unraveling is unraveling at the moment. And it's not like an episode of Ghost Hunters, I guess, doing a callback to I think the first episode where we were like, yeah, it's not just like this manufactured shit. It's really, really good. So anyone listening should also listen to that if you want to get your true crime fix. I understand that it's older and hopefully a lot of people have already listened to it. But if you have not and you like true crime, you really fucking should.
This is interesting. Okay, I know why I thought I had listened to this because it's by the same
I've
guy.
talked about it a lot.
No, but it's by the same guy who did Atlanta Monster, which I listened to, and he was talking about like, yeah.
You really,
Anyway,
seriously, listen to
I'm
it.
subscribed now. I'm going to listen to it today.
Okay, good.
Even
And
though I'm off true crime,
yeah, but this one's so
I'm
good.
going to do it. I'm going to do it.
And the thing is, there's resolution.
Good.
Absolute, complete and utter resolution.
Good. That's what
Yeah.
I want.
It's not like Serial where it's like, and then this innocent person got framed and bye, we're gonna go eat some fruit.
Yeah. They're still in prison, so
right.
That's
Wah,
it.
wah, wah. No, it's everything. I mean, like there's a couple of things that are perhaps in the air, but like for the most part, everything pretty well got resolved. And
Good.
man, it's
Oh, that's how I felt about oh my god, I've got the brain fuzzies today. The brain scramblies.
I ate too much garbage last night.
Yeah, I ate too much garlic last night. I don't remember now. I don't remember. Insert. Oh, it was the one about the Los Feliz murder mansion. Had twists and turns I did not see coming. And at the end, I was like, whoa. So it's not at all what I thought it was. Because basically they go in, and I talked about this in season one.
I need to listen to that. I have
Okay.
not yet. Tell me everything.
Oh my God.
Not everything, but everything.
I won't tell you everything.
Okay.
So there's
Tell me enough.
There's this murder mansion in Los Feliz, where, according to all Wikipedia pages and legends, a doctor murdered his entire family just before Christmas and then drank a cocktail of like bleach and ammonia and killed himself.
He could have just breathed it in, but all right.
I know, right? That's the legend. And so
Was it in like the 70s or something?
yeah, or the 50s or 60s. Yeah, but the whole thing was like that they
It was probably
hadn't
lead poisoning.
they hadn't changed anything about the house since that night, and like including that there were still Christmas presents out and they were wrapped and covered in dust and all this stuff. And so the podcasters come at it from this angle of like, okay, let's find out what really happened. And then like, let's go there. Let's check it out. Let's do all the things. Let's find the people that actually own the house. Let's ask the family. Oh man.
Wow, that sounds really dope.
It's really good. It's called the Los Feliz Murder Mansion. You can get it wherever you get podcasts. It is so good. There's so many twists and turns.
So, okay, is it like the Black Dahlia podcast. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
With
What
the-
was
with
that
the-
called?
It was the one with the daughters,
Yes.
or the granddaughter, and then her daughters.
Yes.
I don't. We'll put it up in the show notes.
Okay.
I will find it and put it in the show notes. That I'm actually.
But you listened to that
I'm
one,
updating
right?
in real time. Fuck yeah, that
Oh
one. Like,
my God.
and then the show they did based on the podcast with Chris Pine that was so fucking good. It's on Hulu.
Oh, what?
Oh my God. Okay.
Chris Pine? Chris Pine?
Chris Pine.
All right.
Mm.
Is it like a dramatized?
Mm-hmm. It's a dramatized version, but it's with all of the facts from. Yeah.
Okay, well, I fucking need to watch that.
Oh yeah, that podcast, that family. That's
So good.
That's the whole reason I named one of my main characters Fauna in like my book that I'm trying to
No
sell now.
shit.
Yeah, because Fauna Hodel.
Yeah.
And so the show starts off with her finding out in the first episode that she's adopted. And she always thought she was mixed race because her mom was black.
No, her mom. Oh, in the show.
In the and in real life, her adopted mom was black.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And then she finds out not only is she not mixed race, she's like 100% white, and she's from this family. So she starts to find out.
And her mom just hates white people,
Oh,
and so
yeah.
said that she was mixed.
Yeah, totally. I mean, she had like blonde hair and stuff,
And like, yeah,
blue eyes,
fair
and
skin.
she was very fair skinned. But and so you find out, well, how did this woman come to have this child, and who are her real parents? And so it follows her on this journey of like figuring out how she is connected to the Black Dahlia murder. It's so good. Chris Pine is so hot.
I have to check that out.
Oh my
Do you
God,
know what
so
it's
good.
called?
Yes, I do. I Am the Night.
Oh, snaz. I've seen the thumbnail for that.
It's so good. And that's the girl that plays Fauna.
Cool. Does he play
Yeah.
George Hodel?
He does not.
Ah.
But a guy who looks exactly like George Hodel plays George Hodel.
Okay, I suppose that's far better.
And they get well, and the cool thing is like they actually dramatize solving the Black Dahlia murder. Nice. And remember how I was like, well, she only had doo-doo in her tummy because she had been laid out on those manure fertilizer bags.
Yeah,
You were
and
like-
I was like, no.
You were like, no, they made her eat it. This show was why I was like, oh, they didn't make her eat doo-doo. And then I realized that maybe they just made it more palatable for TV by saying.
Yeah, because in the podcast, they were like, no, there was a lot, though.
Yeah. Yeah. That was like, I Am the Night. You have to watch it. It's so fucking good.
That sounds so bad.
good. Yeah. You know, the crimes of LA, that time period, all fit in with what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, actually. And so I understand that during the pandemic, the crime rate got different. That's not generally what we're talking about. We're not talking about, like breaking windows because of discontent in the changing systems. We're more talking about like, Ed Gein style violent crime. Because you also have to take environment into account. During the pandemic, there was admittedly there was a lot of shit going on for everyone. We could riot a lot more easily. No one had to take the day off. No one had to work the next day. There was a lot more going on. There was more and there was less, but there was different things going on.
Yeah.
So I feel that it would be unfair to include that time period. It's a lot more of an outlier, really. That was a weird time to be alive.
Yeah.
That would be like including World War II in the mortality rates. You know what I mean? Like that was a weird fucking time. So so I just wanted to be clear on that when we're talking about, rising and falling crime rates, we're gonna just have to figure it out from like now that according to Biden,
I saw that.
the pandemic is over unless somebody sneezes directly into your mouth like they did to Aaron.
God damn it. If you heard about a crazy woman freaking out at the fucking Home Depot on 82nd, that was me.
It's because somebody sneezed directly into her fucking mouth.
Turned her head and fucking chewed into my open mouth.
Yes. So, but yeah, I just wanted to make that little asterisk there.
I think it's important, and I think it's something we're gonna have to like start doing just across the board when it comes to history is like, asterisk.
I think you said it right.
Rick Astley.
A little Rick roll.
A little Rick roll for
right
you.
there.
Just like that was during the pandemic and shit got real weird. And
Yeah, the pandemic doesn't count.
People got crazy.
Yeah, the pandemic doesn't count.
No, totally.
It was in part due to the old National Road that we had talked about earlier, making lead-based paints more available about 20 years earlier. And so between about 1870 and 1890, ready-mixed paint became more readily available due to the new railroad construction that spanned about 120,000 miles
So
across America. So,
wow.
and why that matters is because, you could start ordering shit from Sears and Roebuck. You could, the railroad was kind of the Amazon of the time, but also you could order it through the mail, like parcel shipping was becoming more of a thing. And as we had spoken about last episode, a lot of paints, especially white paints, were like fucking 50% lead. And actually, here's the thing is a lot of bridge paint, even now, is like 50% lead.
Ooh.
It's because it keeps shit from rusting.
Yeah.
I believe.
So I guess what caught my attention was you said ready-made paint, which made me think, how the fuck did people make paint on their own?
Okay,
not that you have that answer, but
no, I do.
Oh, good.
So they with Barnes, for instance, most paints were linseed oil based.
That's right.
So it was just a pigment in linseed oil. For instance, like for the Barnes, it was red rust mixed with linseed oil in order to kill the fungus that would eat the wood.
Yes, yeah.
Or white lead paste, and linseed oil.
Oil and pomegranate seeds. Okay, like
pigment.
Pigment.
Okay.
I
I don't necessarily know what color pomegranate seeds would make things, but
seeds. I don't.
Because I don't
know.
It's not like
that popped into my head.
It's not like paint was only invented in the 1800s.
I think that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
When do you think the Mona Lisa was done?
God damn it, you're right. I was like, no, but that's different paint. Why did I think that was different paint?
I mean,
of course it's not different paint.
It is, but you get it, right?
My brain is... I have the scramblies. I think I met a vampire last night and got hypnotized or something. Like,
you couldn't have. You had so much garlic.
I did. I am contradicting myself. I am fucking worried.
Your story is shaky at best, Erin. You're an unreliable witness.
Oh my God, I'm an unreliable narrator. I'm an unreliable witness.
That's okay. After I lay out like a proper argument for the lead crime hypothesis, I'm going to also pull some strings and
debunk it
a little.
Are you gonna do? Okay.
Not fully.
Okay.
Just a white guy asking questions.
Oh my God.
I'm just gonna Gwyneth Paltrow goop it. Just asking questions here.
Have you seen the fucking meme of her with a purse full of beans that's gone viral on I think it was like an Onion article,
That okay, here's the fuck of it is I will believe anything about Gwyneth Paltrow now.
Me too.
I would believe that she was walking around with a purse full of beans. Mung beans. She's sprouting them herself.
They're all wrapped in little wet washcloths.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
Taking my mung beans for a walk.
Right?
She's out of her goddamn mind.
She's the whitest of white nuts we have.
Yeah.
She's a macadamia nut.
No, even that's delicious and exotic. She's just...
Why was that the first white nut that popped in my head?
I don't know, because it is the lightest of color nut, I would say.
I think so.
But it's also delicious, and so I don't want her to sully that.
Pine nut. She's a pubic hair. She's an ingrown pubic hair that has the white head on top.
That's not really a nut. And if it is, I am not eating at your house ever again.
That is not at all what I cook with.
not sure if I trust you.
I don't know what's real anymore.
I
I'm so
know.
tired.
It's all right. So I only have like a few note cards and then we can just get silly again.
Okay.
Okay. So here I feel is this is the most important note card because it actually explains a little bit the biological link and why it is probable.
Okay.
So just a white guy asking questions over here. Joe Rogan, hit me up. Just fucking kidding.
Don't get us canceled, man. Cancel culture's coming for us.
I mean, I don't know if it will be worth the trip just to get all that elk meat. I drive a small car. I'm not sure I could haul all of that back. I don't even own a tap out shirt. So here's the logic that's behind it. So
Okay.
lead exposure has been found to damage the frontal lobe, as we had talked about before, leading to antisocial and or violent behavior. So individuals who present with antisocial behavior show more evidence of damage to this area versus their more passive counterparts. Responding to even the smallest perceived slights with an inappropriately high level of aggression. As Aaron and I were talking about a couple of days ago, both of us in our younger years maybe tended to go overboard with retaliations on any perceived slights.
So many people remember me in the absolute worst light as I was screaming like this C word at them or
Now see, I wouldn't yell the C word. I would find the thing that they didn't like about themselves the most and blow that up the size of King Kong and just reflect themselves back at themselves. It was I wasn't nice, but I was tactful. I can brush off a C word, but if somebody makes a very pointed remark,
it's true.
exactly. So I've been known to go overboard too.
I wasn't nice or tactful.
Oh, I was very tactful.
You were clever.
I still
You're like
am.
Hannibal Lecter level.
I was. Some people perhaps remember me like that. So they, in one study, they had taken, I didn't write down the number of teenage boys with this type of aggression with, who had exhibited antisocial behavior. And they put them through like a brain scan and they showed them, images that were fear inducing,
Okay.
and they showed a lot more activity in their amygdala, like abnormal activity in their amygdala than their better adjusted counterparts. So the amygdala is responsible for a lot of things, but as it applies to this specific study, it also is responsible for like the fear and anger response.
Gotcha.
So that's the thing that tells your brain like, hey, you're being threatened. And so they would feel more threatened by the same thing than their better adjusted counterparts.
I'm picturing a whole part of my brain that looks and sounds like Colin Farrell, just waiting for someone to say something so he can get him, eye gouge him. Yeah, like I'm picturing like a chunk of my gray matter with literally like two hands and a face coming out of it that look and sound like Colin Farrell, just waiting to like Irish fight someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's roughly it. Another difference was when this kicked in, they showed less activity in their frontal cortex than their better emotionally regulated counterparts. So the frontal cortex is more, it's like responsible for impulse control. So
this is like, this sounds similar to roid rage also.
Yes. So more or less a lot of them had shown damage in their frontal lobes, that, whether it's football injuries, lead paint, the damage to the frontal lobe seemed to, go hand in fucking hand with this. And lead has been found to damage the frontal lobe. So yeah, to sum it up, TLDR, the people who had frontal lobe damage had exhibited more activity in their fight or flight and less activity in their let's stop and rein this shit in.
What is TLDR?
Too long didn't read.
Oh, okay.
It's like if you're reading something on Reddit.
Yeah, totally.
So
So multiple things can lead to the same conclusion, like but all of it ends. All these different causes end with frontal lobe damage.
Yes, and like I said, whether it's concussions brought on by football or abuse or whatnot, there's a very fucking strong correlation.
That's really interesting.
Very fucking strong correlation. So, and moving, we're gonna take that and move on to the people who were most exposed. Can you guess?
Boomers?
Yes. So people born in the 60s are 23% more likely to get busted than people who were born in the 80s, like us.
And I was reading also that boomers have like an 87% chance of more of wilding out like a fucking Karen.
Yes.
Than other people.
Guess why?
Because of the lead. Yep. Yeah.
Their fear responses are more triggered, and their, hey, let's take this back a notch is less triggered. And so, okay, as people age, they are less likely to commit crimes, be it their physical ability decreases, they mellow out.
Even Joseph D'Angelo, he stopped after a certain point, usually when they lose their libido when they're like sex-based crimes. But yeah, totally. Even raving madmen like Joseph D'Angelo, they do eventually stop because they kind of putter out and then their brains start to shrink, right?
Mm-hmm. And so here's something that I think is really interesting. This is also from a Mother Jones article. And I'm just going to directly quote this. From 1980 to 2011, the USA juvenile index crime rate fell by 57%. 57% between 1980 and 2011. Wow. Now, okay, we need to also remember that a lot of the lead-based effects take roughly 20 years to show themselves, right?
Yeah.
And the age 18 to 24 index crime rate fell by 21%. So that means that the people who were born later, they were either committing less crimes or getting less caught for them. But the index crime rate increased by 32% for ages 35 to 49. Okay. Do you understand what that means?
Yes.
The implications of that. Okay.
Yes. But feel free to spell it out.
So that means that as the people aged out of that age bracket, the people who were born in the 60s still kept on committing fucking crimes.
It just shifted the focus from this.
Yeah, it was no longer the people between 18 and 24. It became the people from 35 to 49.
They kept moving the goalposts.
I mean,
in a way, it moved with them. Yeah, as they aged.
Exactly. So the fall in juvenile arrest rate from 1980 to 2011 compares youths born in 1960, near the peak of leaded gasoline exposure, with those born after leaded gas was eliminated in the mid-1980s. So the 1980 to 2000 increase and the ages 35 to 49 arrest rate compares adults born before the 50s surge in gas with those born near the peak in leaded gas exposure. So the age of the offenders just keeps getting older, and then it kind of tapers off around 60 or so.
Fascinating.
because either they fucking died or the 3 strikes just fucking caught them.
Or they shriveled up.
Yeah, or they're in
physically, and
nursing
they're like,
homes because their brains decided to start dying before their bodies did.
well, and that's, yeah, like my grandparents who were not boomers but gave birth to boomers, you know, like they quickly, very rapidly, like their brains at a young age started to shrivel and they got dementia and stuff. And I'm not seeing that in my boomer parents. I'm not seeing that deficiency. I'm seeing, yeah, like, yeah, their bodies are outliving their minds. Yeah.
But one of the more terrifying things is a lot of these people are still the people who are in charge.
In charge. Yes, yes, yes.
And they are tiny fucking warlords.
Oh my God. And that's why we're having the problems we're currently having with like global warming and fucking. I heard on the news, and granted we canceled our cable, so I didn't have to hear stuff like this anymore. I mean, and to save like $200, but like I heard that Vladimir Putin declared that he was drafting 300,000 Russian citizens. Then he turned around and was like, no, 1 million Russian citizens, and took every one of the protesters that he was arresting at these different protests and threw them into service. So like
which is dumb. He's just gonna have a bunch of defectors on his hands.
Well, exactly. There's that, and they're treating him like cannon fodder, but he didn't even have like the materials to support the 300,000 that he had already planned on drafting. He doesn't have the materials. He doesn't even.
There's no
sleeping
fucking
bags for the ones
infrastructure
in there. Yeah, there's no.
There
infrastructure.
wasn't infrastructure to send the people in who he sent originally.
Yeah, that is exactly what I'm trying to say. And so like, so he's making decisions that make no fucking sense with like, you know, lead brain. And then dipshit McGee is telling people he can declassify things with his fucking brain. You know, and like, oh, I just think things and they happen. After
That's some real McAfee shit, isn't it?
that is real McAfee shit. After fucking up the economy with his inflated fucking numbers of Mar-a-Lago being worth $700 million, you know, and like all and I'm not saying that it's like, oh, only Republicans have shriveled brains. No, they don't. But like a lot of the Republicans that have shriveled brains that
are in charge.
Are in charge,
Yeah.
and they're being real loud about shit. And they're all fucking boomers from the beginning to the end, and they are refusing to give up control of everything.
At this point, I would even take Pauly Shore, and I don't care for him much.
You know what I heard? His brother's an asshole. Like an untalented asshole.
Pauly Shore?
Yes.
Well, Pauly Shore is an untalented asshole, so perhaps it runs in the family.
I was thinking the same thing. I think
the good lineage died with Mitzi.
That's what I was just going to say. So apparently Pauly Shore's brother was coming to writing group with Chuck. And like, so he would like, of course, he would always talk to Chrissy and be like, hey, I'm Pauly Shore's brother. I own the Laugh Factory, because like famously Mitzi left him the fucking Laugh Factory and not Pauly Shore. But apparently he's like a real subpar writer with like a real big ego, and like he thinks he has a lot of clout.
No, same with Pauly Shore, dude.
Yeah. And it's really interesting.
Pauly Shore is like, oh, you like comedy? Yeah, I invented that.
Yeah,
it's like, you're the
comedy.
Wheeze. Sit the fuck down.
Right? And it's really interesting because even them are delusional. Even they are delusional. I had a lot of fucking gluten yesterday. It's really fucking me up. I inadvertently had a lot of gluten. Yeah, like every example of like mildly powerful boomer is just, every interaction is just, for me, reinforcing the idea that this is a correct hypothesis.
Also, and keep in mind, like, there's no one reason why people do any of the shit that they do.
Yeah.
Like,
and I say that fully recognizing that. Yeah.
You have to also, for these people specifically that we've been talking about, you have to also take into account they did a fucking lot of coke in the 70s and 80s.
So many drugs.
A fucking load of it. And I don't know if you know this, but coke is not good for your fucking brain. Long term, short term, medium term, it's not fucking good for your brain.
It has been known to affect that prefrontal cortex.
It's been known to affect quite a few different things.
Yeah.
And yeah. I'm just saying. I don't know if you've ever met like an old cokehead. But they are delusional as fuck, and it
Yes.
is odd.
It is
And they love
odd.
number and word games.
Are we talking about...
I'm not talking about Sudoku and crossword.
Because I was like, I don't understand Sudoku, so...
No, like they will. Okay, and this I could be painting cokeheads in an unfair light. But in my experience with people who have had extremely prolonged usage of cocaine, like 10 plus years of being regular users, they will get really weird with it really quick with their paranoia.
Yes.
Like you could be like, oh, this is my friend Fred. And they're like, Fred, F-R-E-D, take out the R, Fed, F-E, like shit like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, they are.
Like,
yeah. They are queuing
R
up.
means 23.
Yeah.
2 plus 3 is 5. And it's like, whoa, why does R mean 23? Well, because fucking Mercury in retrograde is the 23rd. And it's just like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not on the level you're on right now.
No, 100%. You know, like, I have seen so many TikToks of people who are genuinely stumped by these massive announcements that are being made. We all have to brace ourselves. Now, by the time this comes out, it will have already happened. But supposedly tomorrow, Trump is going to be sworn back into office. Jesus is going to come back and reinstate him.
White Jesus?
White Jesus.
All right.
And all of us, Democrats, liberals, what do they call them? Christian nationalists? Anyone who's not a Christian nationalist will basically be the opposite of raptured. Like, we'll all be put...
Oh, we'll get to chill here where the crazy people,
no.
will get taken up into alleged heaven?
I wish.
Because that would be fine.
Dude, that would be so fine. Because we all know that's not...
I wouldn't mind that at all.
I mean, like, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. And
yeah,
we'll
all the
be
crazy,
dead.
racist, sexist, homophobic
Yeah.
dickheads will just be gone.
All the people holding us back.
Sounds
wish
like
it were.
utopia.
They're going to put us all in camps, labor camps. The whole world.
Isn't that what I do for work anyway?
I know, right? But Trump is going to make sure that the second coming of Jesus. Now, this is a man who has Orthodox Jewish children and grandchildren. They're saying that he is going to be reinstated. He's going to reset the gold standard. He's going to get rid of all of our money, and he's going to make new money with his face on it. So I hope everyone's enjoying spending their new Trump bucks, since this is in the future.
How does that translate to Stanley dollars?
Oh, Stanley dollars do hold their value. Only on pretzel day.
What about Shroot bucks?
Shroot bucks are void. Beats.
Bears.
Battlestar Galactica. Fuck yeah. But so, and it's like, well, why September 24th? You might be asking yourself. Oh, because the weird letter number game.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's some hotep ass shit, isn't it?
It is. And I heard it all broken down and I couldn't for the life of me repeat it because it's so asinine. But like, okay. I was sitting in fucking gridlock traffic trying to get to Chrissy's house yesterday at 5:30. And I know I shouldn't have been doing this, but I was scrolling through TikTok because what the fuck else am I going to do? I'm in park.
No, like,
You
okay,
know?
so just to give context, like, going from Portland to Vancouver, anywhere between about 4 p.m. and 7 p.m.
I'd say 2:30 to 7 at this point.
Yeah, despite
Yeah.
the fact that it's, I don't know what, like 10, 12 miles away.
Yeah.
It will take you 2 fucking hours and you will be stopped in park.
Oh, yeah.
Actually in park.
Dude, I know for a fact that several of our
Like
listeners...
a minimum of 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, several of our listeners regularly do this trek back and forth,
Yeah.
and they can vouch for me. Leanna knows. Yeah, it's 2:30 to 7. You're fucked, especially when you're going to Vancouver from Portland at that time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, coming into Portland, NBD, right? But like, so I'm sitting there and I'm scrolling through TikTok, and I know the algorithm is determining what I see by what I'm watching, and it was just video after video of like Trump's coming back, people stitched with these crazy Christian nationalists that are like, you know, this is what's happening, and all of them explained to me in depth why the 24th held weight, and I can't for the life of me remember it because it was so fucking insane. It's just, my brain was just like, it just heard wah 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 wah. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell
Old
you.
cokeheads love numerology.
Jesus Christ, Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham must just be like, yeah, they must just sit around doing that shit for funsies. I bet they have tons of those yellow legal pads just covered in like number,
They're just playing MASH all day.
right? Totally. All fucking day long. Oh my God, it's nutty. So apparently, if you're hearing this and Trump is our overlord again, it's because Jesus came back and reinstated him. These fucking people also thought John F. K. Jr. JFK Jr. was going to show up.
That he was Q.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If someone shows up and it's a white Jesus and they're like, I'm Jesus, the chances of me saying, I don't think that you are about 100%.
Yeah.
And
And I know we've talked at length before about Jesus's real color, but
yeah,
like,
there's just,
it just keeps,
and all these people who like desperately want the rapture to happen now, they're doing some real unchristian like shit. Now, growing up Mormon, I have read the Bible, I don't know, probably like between 2 and 4 times cover to cover, along with all the other books, like Doctor and Covenants, Pearl of Great Price, Book of Mormon, all that shit, right? For the most part, all it really said was like, don't be a dick and you're doing all right.
yeah.
It said nothing of trying to force the hand of fate and trying to bring the apocalypse about.
People who are making themselves martyrs. They're like, I'm going to give up my
Yeah.
spot in heaven so everyone else can go to heaven.
That's
And
not
I'm-
how that works, bro.
And I'm going to spurn the apocalypse. Yeah. They have no fucking logic.
They're doing some mighty shitty
It's
things.
because their brain is all full of lead.
Yup, it is though. Actually, speaking of brain full of lead, this is my last card. And then we can just get silly with it.
Does it say gluten?
Giuliani.
I'm wearing my fucking glasses and I still thought that said gluten.
Oh no, it's because my handwriting is terrible. If I didn't write it, I wouldn't know.
No, it's
It
'cause
looks
it's got
like a
G and
C,
U.
a 7, a U, an capital I, a little I, a 4. That one actually looks mostly like an N or maybe an A, and then 2 dots. That's what that looks like.
My brain read it and said gluten.
No, get it closer to your face. It doesn't make any more sense. Now that you know it says Giuliani, it says Giuliani.
It
But
does
if
look
you
like a colon.
if you did, he does look like a colon, doesn't he?
Or semicolon. He looks like a colon. That looked like a semicolon. All of it ends with doo doo.
Yeah, he does look like a colon, doesn't he? Okay, so Giuliani, a lot of people credit him for the great crime decline in the 90s.
He cleaned up the city.
Allegedly.
That's what everybody says.
Allegedly.
It was so good.
So here's the tea on that, friends. So he got into office in 94. Crime had peaked in 1990 and it actually dropped by 12%, which is a significant number before he even took office. So then by 96, it had been dropping for a while. In DC, it had dropped by 54%. In Dallas, 70%. In Newark, 74%. LA, 78%. So I'm pretty sure, I mean, I'm no history buff, but I don't believe that Giuliani was the mayor of any of those at the same time. I think that you only really get one mayor spot at a time.
Unless you are
Unless white Jesus appoints you, I guess.
I was just gonna say that, yeah. Unless you are the chosen by the white Jesus.
And I don't believe at that time Giuliani was.
I don't think
So
although cocaine binges may have told him different.
I think the
numerology.
cocaine might have been his white Jesus, as it is for most of those fucking people. Actually, I think a personal opinion. I think that for a lot of the white nationalists, their white Jesus is meth.
Yeah, it is.
Because prolonged meth exposure also makes people real fucking wacky, don't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does. So the crime rate it's steadily been declining. And okay, and I'm not talking about like the recent, civil unrest. Like I should hope everyone would understand that when you stick your dick in the bee's nest, shit's gonna happen. I'm talking about like when nobody was sticking their dick in the bee's nest. Because we were all stir crazy with the pandemic, and then like cops, I mean, not to say cops were just beginning to stick their toe in the waters of killing black folks, because they've been doing that for quite a fucking while. But we all had the bandwidth to be like, hey, you guys are really you're going ham on this, aren't you?
Yeah.
How about you don't? How about you don't do that?
Yeah.
And so yeah, we were able to, riot without taking the day off of work. Nobody had to work.
Well, you know what happened yeah, exactly. We all shifted our point of view to that of Marjorie Taylor Greene. The only way to
Ew.
stop a bad guy with a gun is with a gun. That's her whole logic.
Which is like when people spank their kid because their kid is crying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I watched her kick a child.
What?
Oh, she was probably 17, but she's still technically a child. The girl was asking her questions. She's like, why do you think guns have a place in schools? Guns kill children. And she goes, no. Good people with guns save children. And then the girl
like
walked
the
in front of
cops
her.
in
Yeah. Like,
no,
yeah,
those those cops had guns, and guess what they did?
Nothing.
Not a fucking goddamn thing.
No. They let that rampage go on for a long time.
Yeah, they
So,
really did, didn't they?
A lot of people are just like, well, I need gun. You have gun. Big gun? Bigger gun. Everyone
People are
gun.
fucking idiots.
And she's like, go back to your country if you don't like it. The girl's like, I'm from fucking Utah.
I
Like,
mean,
I'm
okay,
the color of your
Utah,
white Jesus.
Utah a little is its own country. Have you been to Utah?
No.
Okay, so I used to say no with my eyes like open like that. During the pandemic, I went, and let me tell you, when there's no people in it, Utah's pretty.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I saw
Moab is
mountains
pretty.
that were blue and purple. I'm not fucking kidding.
We'll have to go to St. George. I don't know why I said St. George.
I don't know what St. George is.
St. George, Utah?
Oh.
I don't know. I realized I only know that name because of Sister Wives. We'll have to go.
Oh.
We'll have to go on tour to Utah and like go check.
What
out the
about
mountains.
the place that marries
Yeah, that.
I need to get your
or
Discovery
Airbnb.
Plus login because
Yes.
there's more Sister Wives and I need to know the tea.
Dude, it's so depressing. It's so depressing. It gave me PTSD.
Oh,
Like
no.
watching two people get divorced. I was like, it gave me flashbacks to my divorce before I met Dave. It's intense. It's so sad to watch. It's so fucking sad just watching these people their whole family crumble. It's really intense. I mean, I'm going to keep watching it, but
Yeah, it's a train wreck I cannot look away from.
So speaking of like big eyes at the sound of Utah, this is like, did we already finish Giuliani?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, did we?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Oh,
I didn't want to
Giuliani.
derail us further.
Ugh.
So I was rewatching Mad Max Fury Road yesterday because like Wolfie loves it, and I was in the mood for some eye candy, and I was like, I'm gonna check the IMDb page, the trivia section. I wonder if there's anything interesting that I didn't know about this movie, because I just saw a thing that Tom Hardy had signed on to do 3 more of them, which like made my fucking year. And so one of the actresses who played one of the wives of Immortan Joe that wears like scantily clad toilet paper.
Oh, Zoe Kravitz.
Oh yeah, her too. But the one who was actually pregnant in that, or who looked pregnant in that, like, yeah, I love Zoe Kravitz. I don't know her name. She's a very beautiful Australian or English actress.
Zoe Kravitz is like too gorgeous to be actually real. And like both of her parents, because she's like Lenny Kravitz and
Denise.
no.
Yeah, Denise from the Cosby Show.
Oh yeah, Jason Momoa's ex-wife.
Yeah, Lisa Bonet.
Lisa Bonet.
There we go.
This is like the daughter of 2 of the most attractive people on the planet.
Yeah.
And it was like, it can go one of 2 ways. It can either
Yeah.
go like a Lisa Marie Presley way, where she looks she looks like the wrong parent in all the wrong ways,
Yep.
or it can go this way where she's just everything.
Which is funny you say that because Lisa Marie Presley's daughter is another one of the wives. So Elvis's granddaughter, Riley Keough, she's in that movie. She's the redhead. And
Are
she
you
looks
fucking
like
with me?
No, she looks
Does
like
she look like Priscilla?
she looks like all the right parts of Priscilla and Elvis.
Oh
She's
my.
fucking stunning. They like exclusively hired models to be these women, right? But she was anyway. So she was talking about. So they're wearing like little like Fifth Element style like strips of shredded white toilet paper.
Yeah, it's like they all had to share one mummy outfit.
Right? And she said that every time one of them, their clothes would slip, Tom Hardy would do like a cartoon, like whoop, whoop, where his eyes would like get really big to like, oh no, your boob just popped out or whatever. Like, yeah, I just picture being in the middle of a take and Tom Hardy looks at you with like the like Looney Tunes go, ooh, good eyes. So you're like, oh, my clam is hanging out, isn't it? And it just like, I don't know, it made me really smile. It was like, man, I love him. And Megan sent me the most amazing clip of him winning at a jiu-jitsu competition.
But when he walks away, it's like he just had borrowed that body for the day 2 hours prior.
And he kind of like looks.
He doesn't know how to use his, like, he only knows jujitsu, but then when he's walking away, he doesn't know how to use his legs or arms or what to do with them
they
when
might
he's
be
walking.
Very tired.
I mean, yes.
I've never done that particular submission move because I.
But
don't know
he also
jiu-jitsu.
doesn't. I have, and it's like, I mean, maybe, but in general, he just kind of walks like that.
He does kind of bow-legged, and
He's
I don't know.
like
I'm
a
into
wacky
it.
inflatable arms guy,
Dude,
but
I'm
like
here for it.
walking and being alive in public with a skin suit.
It does look odd, but after he was done in that competition, the hug that he gave that guy, I want that hug from Tom Hardy. It was a full-bodied, like,
yeah, but like you could tell the other guy was kind of like scared for him to hug him.
Yeah.
So I think that he probably hugs like Jason Momoa, or even like me. Like when I hug, people are like,
I want that hug. I want him to squeeze the life out of me. I don't care.
I want Jason Momoa to hug me.
You know what? I will take a picture of you getting hugged by Jason Momoa.
Every hug I've ever seen him give,
They look like the best hugs.
it's the best hug.
That was like that Tom Hardy. He wrapped both his arms around that dude. He didn't just put his head next to the guy's head. He fucking tucked his head into the crevice of that guy's neck and like nuzzled him a little bit.
Yeah.
That was a good match. That was the most genuine hug I've ever seen a human give, and I want that hug. I've never had a hug like that, not even for my children.
Aw.
I want that full-bodied hug.
Alex gives me that hug all the time.
Oh, I'm gonna stick with it. Just his legs were really tired because he definitely is walking like he's very uncomfortable. Very.
That's just how he walks, dude. Watch him walk when he's not acting.
Yeah.
Watch what his body does when he's not being somebody else.
You think real Tom Hardy body is like just sort of like a. What is that fucking Gumby?
Maybe. I think that he is actually several eels in a skin suit, and they're all fighting over control of the limbs.
You know what? That works for me. That turns me on even more about
Oh
him.
my.
I know. I'm here for
Ugh.
it. Anything that man does, I'm here for.
I feel like if we dated, it wouldn't be for long.
I feel like I would marry him while he was asleep, and then when he woke up, I'd just be like, I'm your wife now.
So you'd be the problematic
I would
one.
be the problem. I would be like, you can go live with your real wife. No, okay. So I have these. You can go live with your legal wife, but you have to come visit me sometimes. Just like sometimes. Just stop in. I'll have dinner ready whenever. Like Miss Havisham.
Okay, Kathy Bates.
I know, like Miss Havisham style. Just like the food will be on the table, and I'll just be sitting there for years waiting. No, I do have these dreams. I have this weird series of dreams where he and his wife take me in like handmaid style, like The Handmaid's Tale, and just use me like a dirty rag. He uses me like a dirty rag and then makes me go live in this quiet room all by myself while his wife just silently hates me. It's intense, and I don't mind it per se in the dream. It's really strange. I'm like weirdly okay with it.
That's very different from my Pete Davidson dreams.
Yeah, I mean, it's no fun for me. And it's very different from my Tom Hiddleston dreams. We do a lot of dancing. We
My
dance
Pete
a
Davidson
lot.
dreams, mainly we just hang out and he's just like sometimes my boyfriend.
See, I think that's why
But like that's it. It's as run of the mill as a dream could get.
See, and
except
that's
for
why
Pete
it's my
Davidson's
theory
also there.
that like, yeah, it's my theory that like in another life, in an alternate dimension, you guys are just like dating. Because
like
like,
that.
yeah, you dream and you tap into that other Megan's life,
And he's not famous in my dreams.
which is even like, does he work at? He seems like a good trash guy. You know, like he'd like work for the
He
garbage
would be or like
union.
a cement guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
he would be good at that. Yeah, like he's I don't know, maybe he just like works at AMPM or something. He's just like a normal dude.
He's like a good provider.
I mean, just a normal schlubby guy. I'm the provider.
He makes sure you have Band-Aids in the bathroom.
Yeah, very thoughtful.
Totally.
He's very thoughtful.
I love it.
Yeah.
I told Megan yesterday I was pretty sure that we were living in a simulation because I farted and my fart didn't smell like anything I'd ever encountered in my life. And then whoever was programming the simulation like lost the Aaron fart smell card and like just substituted in like a yak fart or something weird. I just like, she won't notice. And I noticed, and that's why I know we live in a simulation now. And if we're in a simulation, that means I have a fucking squelch of a little baby itty bitty chance to be that handmaid to Tom Hardy.
Like, I'm glad that you're finally leaning into the simulation theory because at very first, it was, I don't know, like a few months after the Many Worlds episode that we did, Aram was like, okay, so like, I'm very uncomfortable with the idea that we're living in a simulation because that means that like nothing I do counts and I should just go shoot up a bank. And I was like, okay, first of all, you're spiraling.
I was spiraling big
So
time.
you need to not. But so are you telling me you don't want me to tell you the likelihood that we are living in a simulation? And I can't keep my fucking mouth shut if I know something about something. It's one of my more annoying qualities. And so I was like, cause I can't help but tell you that the probability is higher that we are than we are not.
You know what changed my mind? Free Guy. That movie, Free Guy.
Yeah, good.
Ryan Reynolds is literally living in a simulation. And when he figures it out, he has that fear, the confusion, and the rage like I had when we were talking about it. But then he settles into a nice life with his best friend. And they just like hang out all the time and eat ice cream.
That's pretty much my life. Yeah, like I
could deal with that.
when I was a lot younger, like in my teens, my brains were kind of crazy. And I was, I was figuring stuff out. We all were. And so the whole simulation thing or the everything around me is not real. It hit me like a sack of bricks and then I fixated on it for I don't know, like 4 years. Like hyper fixated on it. And then eventually I figured out that it doesn't matter. Because if we are in a simulation, that means that we always have been in a simulation. And it means that this simulation, in this simulation, I'm still capable of some degree of emotion. And even if my thoughts are not my own, they are fed to me as though they are. And so, I'm just making the best of it until I die or the plug gets pulled. Hanging out with my bestie, eating haichu, making a podcast,
Right? Living the good life. And it took me a while to get here, but I'm glad that I'm here now.
Good.
Because
I hope that I helped.
You did. Yes, you did. Because had you stopped talking to not tell me that we probably are, I would have just gone on thinking that it's not possible, and it pisses me off that the idea even exists. But like, it did force me to go deeper. And I mean, really, the whole idea that we might be the sea monkeys in someone else's fish tank, I've made peace with it. It's okay.
It's probable.
Because, then I have a better chance of being in Tom Hardy's sea monkey tank.
I mean, I suppose.
Because nothing matters. I mean, not nothing matters. Like, there's
nothing truly matters.
Like, nothing matters, and there's no stumbling block against me really just clawing my way towards him, whether he wants me to or not.
No, I find a lot of liberty in the nothing matters nihilistic viewpoint, because that means that all the weird shit that I do and say doesn't matter. And quite frankly, the weird shit that I do and say far outweighs almost any other things that I do. And so if, me accidentally looking at the English trainer like he's something to eat doesn't matter, then that's fine.
Yeah.
And if that also means that like my existence too doesn't matter, then I'll take that.
It's a trade-off.
It's a trade-off.
And I guess
for all the awkward shit I do and say. It's
right?
fine.
Well, and what was the difference? What's the difference between living on earth and dying and going to heaven? Going to an afterlife after we die, or being in a simulation until I'm unplugged and then returning to the place from which I came. It's kind of the same thing. So it's like, it's all the same idea, but we just call it different things.
Yeah. Well, and if matter can never be truly destroyed, then shit's got to go somewhere.
It's true. We got to go somewhere. There is an afterlife. There are aliens. There are UFOs sitting over Kiev right now in Ukraine. Like, there are UFOs just sitting there that are well documented.
Are you wilding out?
I am 100% serious. Like, Google UFOs over Ukraine, UFOs over Kiev. Like, it's a thing right now.
Is this some shit that I have to debunk real fast?
No, the government has confirmed it. Like, they're just sitting there. Okay, the Ukrainian government.
Google.
I mean,
I'm going to ask Google.
If I'm wrong about this.
Are there UFOs over Ukraine right now? Let's see what Google says. YouTube, space.com. Let's find something that's not imcrazy.org. Oh, here. Okay, Snopes. All right. I'll trust some Snopes.
Yeah.
Load, you goddamn son of a bitch.
Fucking load.
It's the UFOs. They don't want me to know.
I know. I mean, I'm not saying it's aliens. I said it was aliens. I said that in jest. But, like, there are flight crafts over Ukraine that no one is claiming. It's a weird time. It's a strange time to be alive. Things are...
Oh, I made a friend at work who's as weird as me.
I love that.
Yeah. There's 100% chance that he will never listen to this podcast.
Perfect.
I just won't tell him about it, is why.
Then you can, I know. My mother-in-law was like, I really want to hear your podcast.
And you're like, no, the fuck you don't.
No, you don't want to hear me talking about wanting to boink Tom Hardy for like 27 hours a year. It's kind of what it works out to.
Yeah.
So, well, you know what, guys? Next time, even though it sounds like a bummer, it will be positive because it's all death positive.
Yay, hooray.
Hooray. Follow us on the stuff. I'm updating the show notes. I'm keeping up. I almost forgot to post the episode this week, but then I got it on time. So we're doing good. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
Unless they work with me, then don't, because
I
don't want them looking at me with knowing glances.
Dude, if you're coming to story night at Hindsight Tap Room,
yeah,
on
then
Powell,
you can tell people.
Then
if you work at UPS, don't tell anyone.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
It's our secret.
It's
just yours and my secret.
You guys, best secret keepers in the world.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh my God. Okay, we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Bye-bye.